Okay, so let's get some of the easy ones done and diddly done. So, Nanamo, S tier, clearly, fucking legend. Thank God Nanamo isn't dead. Pippin, in-game husband. Warrior of Light, loves them. Then we've got Tataru, true MVP of the Rising Scones. Made me a great outfit. Love it. Not me doing the Lalas first. Everything must be monetized? Yes. Oh, I actually buy Elmis products. They're very good. So, you know, I will condone this advertising. This, I don't know. Right, Papalimo. I mean, does anyone do this and not put Papalimo in absolute maximum S tier position? Because legend. Absolute legend. I am devastated. Absolutely devastated, to be honest. Like, you know. I love how you just pick out all the Lalas. Hello. My tier lists are Lala first. You know, you gotta put the oxygen mask on yourself before you put it on everybody else, right? It's Lala first situation. As it should be, as it rightly should be. Right, Kryle's like an A tier for me. Kryle's done some like interesting stuff. I love the sass level, but I feel like Kryle hasn't had like their moment yet. Do you know what I mean? Like all of these characters have had like a moment. Pippin has taken back the wall and like totally saved us at the end of A Realm Reborn. Plus they're super cute. Nanamo is just a legend, like an all-time legend. Then you've got like Tataru, who made me an epic outfit and is always like the true MVP of the scones. So, and Papalimo is a fucking hero. Her intro, like talking to Alfie, puts her S tier for you. Interesting, controversial, direct, controversial. Like, I just feel like Kryle needs like a big story moment, you know? Like, I don't want to like bump them straight to the top, but like Tataru and Pippin and Nanamo and Papalimo, they're like they've had some moments. Kryle needs a big story moment, but she does have a cute hoodie. I will take that. Tataru made the new outfit, so that is why Tataru is in S tier this time. Right, Wedge, legend among legends. But again, no big story moment for Wedge. Wedge was like really instrumental throughout the Alexander raids, which were great fun, but like not like a massive story moment. But Wedge gets like A tier for like always being like totally looking out for Tataru. So, you know. No Biggs fastball special this time. Yeah, like Biggs also didn't have a moment. Biggs is B tier for me this time. I've put Wedge up higher than Biggs because Wedge is just like that little cutie, like always worried about Tataru. Whereas Biggs kind of like was here, was doing good things, was a big part of the storyline for what's it called? Alexander. I literally just said it 2 seconds ago. I forgot. But, you know, like, again, didn't have a mad story moment. Right. Let's just finish the Lalas. Who is this? Is this Lolorito? Barely in the story this time around. So, like, mad props for... Is that Lolorito? It looks like Teleji. I can't tell which one it is now. If that's Teleji, it shouldn't even be on the list. That's Teleji. Get off my list. You died at the end of A Realm Reborn. Go away. He's half the Lala you used to be. Ah, love it. This one's Lolorito. So, like... Lolorito... I feel like Lolorito's A Realm Reborn. Get off my list. So, I'm not doing those. I'm not having them. They don't belong on my list. They're just not Heavensward characters for me. I feel like we resolved that stuff in A Realm Reborn. So, who have we got? Right, we've got Alfie. Alfie has been B tier for me. He's still like my Bezzy. Like, he's a good mate. He's a great politician. But he hasn't really shone in the story in his own kind of like unique way yet. So Alfie's like a B tier. Alisei is currently going in B tier as well. Alisei feels like an administrative assistant for Tataru right now. So Alisei is like, Tataru's been like, you know, running this whole business is a lot. Could I have like a PA? And Alisei has sort of like stepped in to help out. Talked a big game. Great during coils and all that kind of stuff. But overall, not had a major story moment either. So that's where they're going. Who else? Elf Pope, the villain. Elf Pope's a B. Elf Pope was a good villain. Good villain. Had like the Vader moment of like, I'm your father kind of situation with Aymeric. A little tropey in places, but like a good villain. I would say the patches of this story bring him down in performance overall, like in the tiers, because by the time we get to the end of Heavensward proper, like he's so far in the past, like just so far. So I can't even really. I mean, Oceanfon's going straight up there in S tier. How could you not? Sacrificed himself to save me, the warrior of light. I mean, come on. You know who else is going up there? Isal, because she also fully sacrificed herself for her beliefs to save the warrior of light and to like make possible our whole mission situation. So she is straight up there. What a legend. And she did have an amazing redemption arc. I agree with that thought a lot. Like from where she like first appeared to where we landed with Isal was like a whole journey. Aymeric took me for a date and is hot. That is a simple S tier. Who else do we have? Like, who else do we have? Oh, Round Rocks. I really like Round Rocks. Round Rocks is a bit derpy, but they're going in A tier for me. That is Round Rocks, isn't it? Or is it Brave Locks? That's got to be Round Rocks. They wouldn't put Brave Locks in there. We barely even noticed the Brave Locks died, even though I was pleased to see them at first. Who else do we got down here? Okay. S tier in the villain side of things. What a story arc. Brilliant. The Warrior of Darkness. Mwah. Voice acted sublimely by Master Dempsey. And brilliant. Incredible story arc. What a reveal. What a twist. What a turn. I love it. Love it. Everything about that story arc was amazing. Urionje. C tier. I'm putting Urionje in C tier, but well, B tier. Because he was twisty and turny. That was good. But he should have trusted us. And I am a petty bitch, so I'm putting him lower than... I'm putting him C. I've made my decision. I'm putting him in C. He should have trusted us. Like the shady scheming behind the scenes. Alarm! 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 The shady scheming behind the scenes, like, too much. Too much. Like, he totally should have... Totally
Sloppy!
Should have... Stop it now. He totally should have behaved himself and told us what was going on. Because he could have trusted us. So I feel like he's broken my trust. That's how I feel. Edmund. Edmund's pretty high up here. I'm going to come back to Edmund. I'm not sure I'm ready. I'm not sure I'm ready to rate them. Canny, E, what are you doing? Can E was E tier for me this expansion. Didn't really play a role, didn't have a story arc. Just there, you know, important, but not, you know, like Canny didn't do very much. So I like them, but they're E tier. Merweb, same. And part of that's to do with the new VA. Like, I think I'm not quite, I need to hear Merweb speak more in VA scenes to like adjust to the new VA. Plus also the VA is a kind of a character in EastEnders, and that's all I can hear at the moment when I hear them speak. So I kind of need new Merweb's VA a bit more to kind of like adjust. So, but from a story point of view, let's be fair, it's not all in the VA because the voice acting is good. Please don't get me wrong. The voice acting here is good. It's just an adjustment, and my brain keeps thinking EastEnders, which kind of takes me out of it for a minute. But that's what happens. Sometimes you use a well-known voice, and it's like it works. Sometimes it just like takes a little minute. I just want to hear more Merweb. But they're in E tier for me. They didn't really do very much this expansion. Didn't have much of a story arc, either of them. So it's like, okay, fair play. Down you go. You stay down here in the E tier situation. Okay. Here we go. Ilberd. A tier. Ilberd's A tier. Now let me tell you for why, because I know people hate villains being high up, but Ilberd, he is smug. You love to hate him. That's good. That's a good villain right there. His story arc was dark and twisted and angry and tortured, and like as much as we didn't see them very much, they were a very fully realized villain. They had like a whole motive, a long story arc. You know, they've got like some minions. You know, if he was Shredder, then Yu Hasi and what's his face, the Rentus, would be like Beat Bop and Rocksteady. You know, he's got like a little minion crew. So I'm feeling it. Like that's good villainy right there, and we love to hate him. So that deserves to be high. Sid, I'm gonna put in C for Sid because I don't feel like Sid got any character development this expansion. Sid's just Sid. Hi, I'm Sid. Let's take the Enterprise. Woo woo. But you know, it's almost like if a problem with a Primal and Ether turns up, Sid's going to turn up and have some sort of solution. So I kind of just feel like, okay. You know, I'd like more Sid. I'd like more from Sid. I think Sid's whole character is very kind of like trope, good guy. Like it, but I want more. I want more from Sid's character. Now, we've got some Dwagons. Sid is your daddy character. I love it. Sid daddy. What's a zaddy? That's a thing, right? What's a zaddy? Does anyone know what a zaddy is? This is me asking chat stuff. Totally distracted. Right, dragons. Vidofnir. A tier, swooping in at the perfect moment and like grabbing that girl. Great character, awesome VA, loved everything about it. Race Velgar, B tier, grumpy, we got there in the end, you know. Nidhogg, epic baddie, too many eyeballs. But Nidhogg was a great villain. And like the fact that the power of Nidhogg has been then used again, like it's like very, very cool that they're just like the whole power of Nidhogg is awesome. I love it. So while Daddy's an attractive older man, a Zaddy is a man with swag who is attractive and also fashionable. Oh, maybe I'm a Zaddy. Look at me in my hoodie. I'm so fashionable and attractive. Oh boy. Yep. Not that. Right. Who else should we grab with this? There's a lot of people on this list that I'm not going to rate because they're rubbish. Let's take a new character. Gosetsu. Gasetsu's coming in at a B tier for me. Like, we know very little of them, but they came in and had like tummy rumbles and then passed out on the ground. That's pretty legendary, you know? So I'm here for it. They appeared in the patches of Heavensward. They're going on. Just as a early, that's where I put them right now. I suspect we're going to see them grow, but I want to see that. I'm putting them on because I want to see their growth through the through the tier lists as we progress. Right, who else we got? Minfilia had a real story arc this time. Minfilia's going A tier. I feel like as a character, they were a little wasted at times. They were very much kind of like, you know, the boss of the Scions, if you like. But that meant that they didn't get much time out in the field to have much of a kind of story arc or character development. But I love that they became the voice of Hydaelyn. I love that like decision to help out the Warriors of Darkness. Like, I love that. But Minfilia is never going to quite make S tier for me because I think the early parts of their character development were poor. But I love them. Who else have we got? There's some characters down here that are like fully barely in Heavensward as far as I'm concerned. But let's pull out some others. So we've got Midgard Zolmir, the Sass Dragon inside my head. Yep, D tier. They did nothing for me. Really? Just turned up and said stuff and then went away again. I'm like, okay. Unfortunately, they are my lowest ranked dragon, I think. They're like, I wanted their story to do more, but I wanted a little bit more than just turning up and stating the obvious or turning up and just being shady. And we didn't get that. They did have an interesting ending with their like daughter. I've forgotten that character's name and all that kind of stuff. That was good, but the rest of it's a bit blah. Right, Hilda is B tier for me. Because we got a little bit of character development. We got some development for Hilda, but we didn't get enough. I want more. I'd like to see more of Hilda. I think they're compelling. I think they're fun. I like them. I like their VA. I just want more of them. But I'm glad that we got to fight alongside them. I'm glad we did some stuff together. It was pretty cool. Aguri's also here in B tier, again through lack of character development. Aguri has been off like doing stuff, and we're still not really sure what Aguri was doing. There was a point in Heavensward where they were like, oh, Aguri's not here because Aguri's off, you know, on a mission. And I still don't know what that mission is or was. It hasn't kind of like been referenced back. We can make some assumptions maybe, but like, I don't know. So I feel like Aguri's going to be on a journey. I feel like Gosetsu and Aguri in later tier lists may be higher up than this, but right now they're kind of, you know, just formative characters. We're gonna put them next to each other. And then we've got Raoban. Raoban's D tier for me. Like, Raoban was a little bit more characterful. We had that like connection with Ilberd. We had that kind of connection with Pippin. We've had some stuff. We had some content, a bit of involvement in the story. I particularly liked Raoban's role in the tourney, where we got to beat him into a pulp. That was fun. But I think beyond that, Raoban was underused, maybe. But at least he got some use. These two were massively underused. Raoban got a bit of an outing, you know. Then we've got Lucia. Another D tier for me. Underused character. Not much character development. Like, we got a little bit. Like, they were a Guardian. It was a bit of a gag, but not massive. And then they didn't really do very much. They did some cool fighting with Nidhogg. Or maybe we'll put them in D. No, C, sorry. We'll raise them up to a C. They did some cool fighting. You know, they've been helpful. They're Aymerick's kind of like busy mate. They look after Aymerick for us whilst we're busy. So they're going in C. Now, Edmund, I'm going to put an A. I was thinking about S tier for Edmund, but Edmund's pretty cool. I like him, and he had a great story arc. The fact that he literally wrote the book on Heavensward was joyful to me. That was like really gorgeous bit of storytelling that like it was Heavensward was narrated by him. It was in his voice. I loved it. Thancred returned and got a glow up. Thancred's going into C tier. I still don't really like Thancred in the nicest way possible. But Thancred's character is much improved and much better used, much more characterful than before. But I still haven't warmed to them. And I wish they'd take the choker off. The choker really annoys me. I don't know why. It just ruins his neckline. It's the little things. Okay, then Thancred is definitely Zaddy. Do you think... I don't feel like Thancred has any fashion sense. The choke is his favourite thing? Yeah, clearly. He needs to remove the choker, though. I'm sorry. Get rid of the choker. Not a fan of a neck tattoo situation either. I'm like, sort it out. But the new hair is great. And he's become much more interesting and impactful on the story. I just want more. I want more from Thancred before I raise them up into these kind of like higher tiers. You know, if I think about Alice and Alfie's character journeys, even Elf Popes, Thancred's a little bit lower, you know. But he's badass. He turns up. He helps out. He's great in that respect. Right, let's have Lise. I'm going to put Lise in A tier, which is interesting because Lise got to A tier for me in that very last cutscene of the expansion, because that twist and that turning on the story and that kind of like, let's really develop this character at the last minute, plus the fact that they have such a strong relationship with Papalimo, really built Papalimo's story too. So they're not like S tier yet, but I feel like Lise, I don't know, I feel like wherever we're going, I would like to see a lot more from Lise in the next expansion, because I think they're such a cool character now. And this is in the last maybe like half an hour or so of the story of Heavensward, they like really become characterful and complete as a character. Like they get motifs and history and rich story that I don't kind of feel like I have for other characters like Thancred at this point. Bearing in mind, I didn't start in Uldar, so I might be missing something. I'm going to put Lamin in here as a D tier. Like, I feel sorry for Lamin. Like, losing Minfilia must have been tough, but there was no character development there for Lamin at all, other than the tropey kind of like, she's my daughter, I am sad. It's like, yep, that is heartbreaking. It is true, but we didn't see much more from them. So I'm kind of like, I'm ready to see more from Lamin. I want Lamin to be their own character. But I think they were more of their own character in A Realm Reborn than they have been in Heavensward. Matoya is B tier. Love, sassy, great, knows Stoller, has some history with some of these characters. Love it. Almost wanted more of. Like, Matoya didn't really do anything as such. Matoya was just like, oh, I've got a dungeon behind my door. Do you want to go in? Also was like, oh, I've got some sass and some tools that you can use in the field. But that was like it for Matoya, which was sad for me because, and it was the creepiest of all the dungeons. Matoya's keeping those freaking dolls in check. But I feel like Matoya could have done more, you know, could have been more interesting, more realised, more involved, perhaps, in a Warrior of Light's journey. But, you know, was good. Was a really great character. I loved. Right. I mean, do I even put a Lidybus on here? Because there are some characters here. A lot of these characters aren't Heavensward to me. Who is this? Is this that guy that like did the backflip onto the roof and then was like one of Pope Boy's like things, or is that Estinian? Because I'm looking for Estinian. That's Estinian, isn't it? It's like a refreshed Estinian. Okay, it's Estinian. Brilliant. So, Estinian went on a journey. I did not like Estinian at the end of A Realm Reborn, but he went on a journey, and it was a journey that was interesting and it was intense. He basically became Nidhogg and a Primal at one point, which was a lot. He doesn't quite make the S tier because he's still like a little unlikable at times. But I really enjoyed his story. So I'm going to forgive some of the unlikableness and put him in A. A is very high. I just don't think... I feel like Estinian kind of like had their journey and then they like exited the story stage left. And we've not kind of like seen very much since that. So I'm going A. I loved it. I loved everything about their story in the end. But they're A tier. They're not quite... didn't quite cut an S for me. I am going to rate Elidibus. Is there anybody else down here that you want me to rate? I might rate Stoller as well. But I feel like everybody else in my head was A Realm Reborn. But let's take Elidibus. Elidibus. D. Because, like the Ascians are tropey. The Ascians are like, ooh, we live in a spooky void world and we're pulling everyone's strings from behind the scenes. But because of that, you don't really get to see very much of them. And they don't have personalities. Like the Ascians, I'm like, I know, like literally, I know who you are because of your outfit. Like, thank goodness Elidibus wears a different color to the rest of them. Because I'm like, I don't know, you can have 4 Ascians turn up and I'm like, it's just 4 Ascians. It's 4 outfits. They're all behind masks. They've got no personalities. They're not fully realized for me yet. Maybe they'll also go on a journey and at some point I'll be like, oh my God, the long game. These were like the best villains ever in the game. I just didn't see it until now. Maybe. But right now, the Ascian crew are like super low down for me. I will rate Lahar Bread as well. And Lala Bread is right at the bottom. I couldn't even tell you what Lala Bread did. Like, what scene are they even in? Like, did they have a moment? So I'm putting them at the bottom because they're completely forgettable character if they were even in Heavensward. If they were in Heavensward, like, that's not a good sign because I do not remember at all. So, yeah. And I'm going to put Stoller in here as well. Like, Stoller's a C tier for me as well. Stoller's been doing a lot of research, a lot of kind of like whizzing around with Kryl. I love that. Stoller was like around with Matoya. But again, Stoller's not had their own kind of story this season. This season? It's like I'm talking about a TV show. Oh my God. Stoller's not had their own story this expansion, really. So I feel like we got some kind of like, you know, the return of Stoller. Isn't she cool? There's a new outfit. And then it didn't really kind of go anywhere after that, which is fine. But I feel like I would like it to be, you know, more fleshed out, more interesting for Stoller in the future. So we'll do that. And then I'll rate Nero E tier. I don't like Nero. I'm sorry. I think Nero's just like, Nero to me feels like a story contrivance at times. It's like, oh no, how are we going to get into Omega? Ooh, we can't figure out a reason for Sid to know, so we're going to have to bring in somebody else that might do. I know, let's bring in Nero. Hello, I'm Nero. I'm a bit shady, and I'm a bit shitty, but I know stuff. I don't know how I know stuff, because even though I'm shitter than Sid, I'm still really good at stuff. And then we're doing a thing. And then he literally, like, at random, he's like, a machine, and starts touching his nipples and going, whoa, 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 whoa. What is that? That's not character development. That's fucking weird. So I'm out. Like, I am out. Nero is just very strange character. Maybe they're going to go on a journey, but right now I feel like they're being used heavy-handedly as a plot device, and they literally do the villain laugh at the most inappropriate times. So we're like, we're just leaving Nero down the bottom there in E tier, going, maybe at some point that character will make sense to us. For now, they're a plot device. So yeah. Let's just put them there. So I think off this list, there is nobody else here that is Heavensward to me that I want to rate. So that, my friends, my peeps, ladies and gentlemen, and non-binary peeps in between, is my official Heavensward tier list. Thanks for coming on the journey. That is it. That's where we're at. That's what I think. So, chat, do you agree, disagree? How do people feel about this? Is this a good tier list? I feel like it's a good tier list.